All right, so where were we last week? What was last week's date? The 12th? No way. Was it the 12th? All right, somewhere around here. So let's see, hold on. All right, so what was this? I think I sent this chart February 9th. Yeah, so like a little bit over a week ago. And obviously what we wanted was, all right, prices around here. All right, we wanted price to rebound to at least feel some type of inefficiency. Damn, that's good. That was fucked right there. But obviously we didn't get anything back. And when you realize why, or you look at it, you just see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, and you don't see any real, any real inefficiency being left behind besides what's right here, which never came back to fill, and that's fine. We really wanted to see that inefficiency fill before we really took off, but obviously you don't always get it, and it is what it is. But it did give out a ton of opportunity for continuing sell positions. All right, so there's like one thing I really want to emphasize today, and that is definitely that DXY should always be correlated with EURUSD, and this is something that I really select on for the past couple weeks. And there's one thing that's going to prove that today. Well, for one, right, DXY H8 it accumulated, right? Let me pull up the markup. Right, so we completed an accumulation schematic, right? As soon as we broke 98.60, that's right when we knew that this was about to fly. It's just a matter of, when. However, when you look at EURUSD, right, you don't see any distribution play out. Yeah, you see, like theoretically, you see anywhere in that box you could consider somewhat distribution, but it's not clean. It's not like how a schematic should be, or how the schematic is shown on DXY, right? We're actually looking at, a range, and we're playing inside the range to understand direction, and it played out really well. But EURUSD didn't give you that distribution. So, right, so just because DXY gives you accumulation does not mean EURUSD has to give you distribution, right? And just like if EURUSD does something doesn't mean DXY does something, and that's where this market comes along. Right, so this was, can I zoom in? No. All right, oh well. So there we go. So as we can see, right, this is our redistribution schematic, right? When we're looking at this, let's look it up real quick. Right, so as you can see, the main differentiation between accumulation and redistribution is obviously the structure. And you can see it here, right? As then we get an upthrust that probably mitigated something above here, above previous highs. But notice after the upthrust, you just see continuous lower highs being formed, right? So now when we look at the actual chart, we look at EURUSD, which was from, what was this? This is 2 days ago? No, this is yesterday. Yeah, yesterday morning. All right, but this entry was handed out the 17th, and that was at the H1, inefficiency fill. Well, we'll go back to that, which is presented here. Right, that's your inefficiency fill present, and right? We see our up thrust that mitigated something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Mitigated something up there. But the thing is, after that, you just see consecutive lower highs being created, right? Unwillingness to continue higher. And as you can see, when we're looking at, let me change the color actually. When we're looking at any type of schematic, something that's important to always know is your equilibrium, right? Acknowledging your equilibrium and seeing what price does around it is what's going to tell you the differentiation between whether or not it's going to go up or down, whether it's going to be accumulation or redistribution. So as you can see, right, this LPSY that reached, right, that technically broke structure there, right? And then once we cut the liquidity or we filled inefficiency, right, we balanced price. And now this last push up caused that last push down. And now we have now officially broken through structure, and we're also below equilibrium. All right, so now that we're looking at the fact that we're below equilibrium and the fact that we're making lower highs, right? Lower highs, no high after that breaks anything, you're gonna see inevitable death, right? And not only that, but as you can see, we're also accumulating lower lows, right? So just based off of structure alone, you're seeing unwillingness to continue higher, right? And no type of volume to show that it wants to go any higher, right? So equilibrium is a key point here. And as you can see, look at what price is doing around equilibrium of range. That's just price playing around in its little range. And our job is to interpret it and use the interpretation to follow the next move, right? So as soon as we saw equal lows break here, that's automatically a big sign of weakness, big sign of weakness, right? Sign of weakness. And now any retracement back up is only inevitable death, right? So this is actually really clean. This is actually the second time ever that I've ever seen a schematic like a redistribution schematic in real time. And then obviously our target 1.08, which is something we've been talking about. I mean, there's people in here that have been in the team for what, a couple months now. I know for sure Arturo knows this, Christian knows this, Ferris knows this, Jason knows this, Giovanni knows this, right? That we've been looking at 1.08 for the longest. Right, and then that was achieved. And then from then on, it's literally just continuations, right? Because yes, okay, let's say you missed this. Right, yes, this is, you missed a schematic, oh well, right? But it's more important to understand what's actually happening. And what do I mean by that is the fact that we just redistributed, and what the fact that we redistributed means that we're looking at a lot more downfall, right? Which is why the bias has been to the downside for the past two, three days, right? So now coming back to EURUSD, literally, that's more than likely what's going to happen. I don't see this recovering yet, especially just because of this reaction that we just got a couple hours ago. That's annoying. All right, that reaction there. And not only that, right, technically break of structure, but literally the same thing that just happened right here, right, where price came back below structure again and continued downside is what it's doing right now, right? Break of structure, got its order here, came back down. Now you could easily see this start rolling over again. So could it buy up? Yeah, but we can't assume that just yet, right? I'll start assuming that once we break this high here. if we fail to break this high here, then I know that this setup here is no longer valid, and we'll be looking at anything like that. But I mean, either way, all we see here is structure coming back up, maybe, hopefully continuing down. Because there's so much room to the downside, and I don't think people see that. Like, there's legitimately no reason to stop here. Obviously, you see this inefficiency here. All right, this is the only thing that would stop EURUSD now. But if that breaks, easily next target. $1.07, and that's 100 pips away. So I wouldn't want to assume the change of trend yet, especially because we're fighting a ton of momentum. All right, but we'll just see tomorrow. Like we'll know literally by tomorrow morning what this is going to do for the next couple of days. If it continues to, if it fails to break this area again, okay. If it fails to break that area again, then we're going to easily see a rollover. But I mean, we'll see. It's a matter of tomorrow morning. Because if this starts to just move around like this during London, I'll gladly wait to see this inefficiency fill in. But if it fails by the time I wake up, then we'll just have to wait and see. But I mean, yeah, it's just been pretty textbook. It's just a matter of just not fighting trend. All right, I learned my lesson on that, and it just wouldn't make sense to want to buy this at all. And the same thing goes for AU too. All right, so this is a chart I just made. I put it in, I think it was somewhere around here. It's one of these. But basically, right, damn, this is still rolling over. This is expected. I mean, the fact that, you know, same thing, basic structure. Look at these weekly high points. Right, they're failing to break. So if they're failing to break to the upside, it's naturally just going to roll over. Right, not to mention all the fundamental stuff that's going on that I don't really want to get into. But it's literally just continuation on continuation. Right, now we've officially broken 2019 lows, like critically broken these lows. So I mean, it's just a matter of continuing the trend, and we're still looking at that point that we called out months ago too. Where is it? Right, obviously this isn't somewhere I want to buy, but this is obviously a good little target just due to the fact that we have a potential SC there, and not to mention there's inefficiency right here. So if anything, a swing target is 0.65, and that's still 130 pips away. So I mean, there's still moves. This will easily continue to roll over. So it's just a matter of trying to get in this trade. Right, like I'll be looking there once we wake up, see what happens. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it's just rinse and repeat every day at this point, guys. Like I'm gonna keep trying to put all these charts up just so you guys can see, consistently in real time what is actually happening, right? Because a lot of times you can see a move happen, but you won't understand why it happens, and that's the point of why I'm making these. Obviously, yeah, I'm only gonna do my pairs, which is EU and AU, but if you do this on your own and you just stack up your trades, you have really good study material now. And obviously, you can always tell me if you need anything, or tell anybody in the chat if you need anything. So it's just, yeah, it's just literally every week now. It's just going to be the same thing. So I'm open to see what you guys got, what you guys want to talk about. How many people do we have on? 22. Nice. I mean, so what do you guys need? You guys know I only really take up like 20 minutes now, and then the rest of the time is yours. If you want to review trade, you want to review, trade outcomes, trade possibilities, trade forecasts, whatever. I mean, we can just sit here. It doesn't matter to me. UCAD. That's been an interesting one. Do I take note of daily opens? Not really, bro. At the end of the day, what you're really the main thing you need to understand is structure from all different types of time frames, whether it's a scalping time frame, whether it's an intraday time frame, position time frame, swing time frame. It's just it's all structure. It's literally it's all structure. USDCAD. Yeah, this looks like it wants to fly long term. All right, because I know Ferris pointed out this point here. And this is literally your single reason as to why you should want to buy this for the next couple months. All right. Just looking at it from this time frame, look at how this candle engulfed and it took out all of this previous liquidity, but look at the volume that's in there. All right. Quick reaction. And not to mention, look at how that looks. All right, from a position standpoint, all we're seeing are lower highs right here. Potential bull flag to the upside. Now as for actual intraday moves, look, this is looking super corrective, I bet. Yeah, it's looking super corrective. So if anything, let this keep doing what it wants to do. When you see it bottom out, give you some type of breaker structure and then take this to the moon. Because I remember a ton of you were trying to buy oil, and like I looked at it today and that was straight cheese. All right, so we're looking at this literally just purely from a structure perspective, right? We see previous highs here, previous highs here, previous highs are taken, right? Created a higher high, anticipate now a higher low. And where did that higher low come? To this inefficiency flow right there. And then that just flew. So this is literally the same thing you should be looking for in any single pair if you want to look for a swing trade. Let it give you a play. Let it give you, a narrative. Let it give you that sign that it wants to go in a direction. right? Let the structure tell you it all, right? Structure and efficiency fill, and then now you moon for 380 pips. It's crazy. And I know a couple of you that actually got the bottom of this, which is fucking cool. Yeah, I think it is too early. Like, I mean, just from looking at it, right? Anywhere here is your point of interest, right? And if not, you're looking at this candle here, right? Zoom in on this candle because it did come back into that open and then flew. So when we're looking at that, it's just super choppy. But I mean, now from here, I see inefficient pricing right there. Because you got to realize, bro, this little pattern here, this is definitely, you're definitely looking at a ton of buyers on this. Like, let's look at this for my fixed price. Right. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Community outlook. All right. So, oh, I pretty still short. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is looking choppy, but it's just a matter of patience. Like, if I was still trading this pair, like I would genuinely wait to see if we get to this inefficient pricing, and not only that, but it's potential 50% right there. Confluence, right? Inefficiency fill plus 50%. And then hopefully take that to the moon. Yeah, I mean,
it's also right there. It's also a weekly inefficiency fill.
really, let's see. Oh yeah, it is. Technically. Oh, 3 day, perfect. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yo, I might actually take this with y'all if we get it. Yeah, look at this. This is gorgeous. Like 3 day, 3 day inefficiency. Right, I think it was a 12-hour, 16-hour. Okay, well, 16-hour. Right, you're looking at 50%. Right, just around the fill. How big is this range? Let's see. It's only a 16 pip range. That's not bad at all. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that. And then just see it fly. Inefficiencies, bro, I usually just wait. I wait to see what volume wants to do or any type of structure shift. For example, like the EURUSD this morning. I actually posted the chart. Okay, this is the first one. All right, so that's chart 1 or 2. Chart 3. I'm pretty sure this is where, yeah. So you see this? I always prefer to get either 50% or get the full on closure. I mean, yeah, the full on closure of the inefficiency. Just because that's probably the most optimal way to, obviously get the tighter stop. And then 2 is like, I honestly just become unsure when an inefficiency doesn't fill, because now you still have inefficiency left over. So it's just, I don't know, I always prefer for it to close, right? And then get some type of lower time frame entry, right? But either way, like, for example, this was the actual inefficiency fill here. This was only the reentry. So now that I know price is broken structure on an intraday basis, now I see this inefficiency. Now this is my POI where I'm going to want to, obviously take that risk. And I didn't even look at volume there. Let's check it out. This 4 minute. Where was it? It was right here. Right here. All right. Bearish volume came in here. Bullish volume failure to overcome previous volume, fulfilled inefficiency, and that's it. And obviously here you can go about the risk in any way you want. You can easily put it over the previous high, which is 2.5, right? And then it bottomed out at like 8 to 1, right? If you zoom in, all right, this is your area of interest, right? And now you see price start to struggle there. You're really seeing price struggle. Let me, okay, you only see it on the 1 minute. All right, you see price start to struggle. It's failing to go up, and then notice that this last wick here, this is so annoying. I'm not using that mouse anymore. All right, last wick, this is what actually closed the inefficiency on M4, which is right there, somewhere there. Right, but after that is when you got the reaction. Technically, from a scalping perspective, that could be considered a break of structure to an extent, although it didn't break that previous low. But this is enough for me to take risks just because price is struggling to keep going higher. And it already filled it, if that makes sense.
Yo, Fredo.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to UCAD. Check this out. 8-hour time frame. Inefficiency just filled right at that last bottom right there.
Where at?
Right at price is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just filled 8-hour inefficiency to the left.
Oh, right there. Mm-hmm.
And then if you zoom into the 1 hour, there's like a SC right at that inefficiency where it reacted from. Yeah, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could say that it did take out liquidity.
Yeah, that's your reaction right there, though. Now it's just a matter of whether it's going to stay above. If it stays above, then you're good. But if it comes back down here, then you're more than likely going to see rollover.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell from that big wick up there.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm just want to hold to that weekly inefficiency to try to get in a buy.
Yeah, like I would gladly put my stop right there, or put in.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, that's my stop.
And that's your trade management right there, because that's obviously what that's a very tight stop. Yeah, that's a very tight stop, and that's a 70 pips, and you'd be exiting at 55. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
but I mean this is definitely like I would gladly hedge this. Like I would have gladly hedged there, and then obviously hold break even, see what happens for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, because it's most likely getting a reaction off that 1 hour candle.
And well, yeah, that is what it's reacting off of.
Yeah, has another like it right at that where it made the reaction. There's another SC now. 1 hour. Right there, yeah. So it's most likely going to react off of that as well.
And there is inefficiency here too. Inefficiency there, inefficiency there. Yeah, it's really choppy. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you break this high now, you're straight.
Yeah, stops are over that high. I don't want to see a break, but Yeah, we're getting some up move right now, so just gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, that's true. Mental clarity, yes. What are the main confirmations, bro? The same things you use on H1, et cetera, is the same thing as you're going to use on M1, M2, and 3. Like, let's see. There was one EURUSD move that gave like a legit one of the most perfect entries. And a lot of the times you get re-entries too whenever, like, for example, you get your reaction off of your SC inefficiency, but then you also get like quote unquote retest. Right? And you see that very often. Not always, but very often. For example, I mean, this is going to be tough. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find this. Yeah, I'm not going to find it. But if you keep looking back on your pairs, you're going to see that a lot of the times it's going to give you a retest. All right, retest. You're always going to see some type of retest. But yeah, you get the point. Psychology around swing trading. Do what Anthony did, bro. Anthony was swinging 0.01s for like a couple weeks before he started swinging his actual positions. And that's actually how I learned too. Like the tough part, honestly, is getting the entry. Once you get the entry, that you're straight. It's just a matter of telling yourself that you're looking at the higher time frame picture, or you're playing that play, you're playing that narrative. But yeah, I mean, you guys know all this stuff. It's just a matter of literally just applying it now. Like a lot of you have been in this for anywhere from 3 to 6 months now. So you guys are progressing really nicely. There's people in here that have probably been with us close to a year now. Because, for example, when I first started building IML, let's see. Yeah, Christian was one of the first people I brought in. And that was back in April, March, April. How long did it take you? I don't fucking know, bro. I don't know. I don't keep track of the time. It's just like there was a time where I was just grinding charts left and right. Literally for like 3 months, I sat in a room and just applied everything, and it's just all consistency from there. Not to mention that I adapted this to make it my own a long time ago, which is why people like say that I trade smart money concepts, but there's so much more to it than the people explain. A lot of people don't get that. Like for example, Wyckoff. Not many people actually know how to use Wyckoff. What brokers am I with? IC Markets, CoinX, and FX Choice. Yo, come on, don't ask me the noob questions. I mean, attention to detail. And I mean, also, like, the thing is, like, back when before I even knew what the fucking SC was, or before what I knew what an inefficiency was, it was like, Like I used to trade, for example, I used to literally trade minute one engulfings, and that's how I used to snipe things. So I've always had like a quote unquote method on how to, you know, snipe trades. So now with understanding these concepts, now I really see, you know, the real picture, and I actually understand why it's going on, which is why you guys are starting to like really see the results. Like I'm seeing fucking 200 pip swings now. You know, you guys like actually are absorbing the material very nicely. The strong desire have to do with your progression, because I was trying much information as I can, but sometimes I mentally freeze. Yeah, bro, that's called information overload. That happens to everybody. That's why I try to keep it really simple, because when you try to absorb too much, you're just gonna be like, what the fuck am I listening to? Like that's just how our brains are. Like you can't obtain so much information at once and expect to be able to apply it, let alone understand it. So let me see the question again. Yeah, bro, it's all about strong desire. If you don't want to trade, bro, you're not gonna make any money trading. If you don't actually want to sit here and look and learn these charts, you're not gonna make any money, bro. And then yeah, obviously information overload is like, you know, it's actually very common. Like it happens to a lot of people, which is why I'm really trying to condense the course into a point where it's not, you know, too much too soon. But yeah, avoid information overload. Just create your plan based off of the rules that you follow and just stick to the plan. There's no need to complicate this stuff more. Yeah, and if you don't believe me about information overload, try to cram for a test 10 hours before it happens. And then tell me how that test goes. But yeah, what else? So yeah, I mean, we could end it here unless you guys have some more stuff to say. It's just, yeah, I think I'll just end the recording here. But we can still keep talking about stuff.